All right, how are we doing? So today's client case study is Beth. She is a competitive CrossFitter, and she came to me to improve her weightlifting specifically for CrossFit. She felt that it was sort of letting her down, and technically it wasn't where she wanted it to be. So I just wanted to sort of take you through the process that we went through to improve her lifting and to get her lifts dialed in, so that it wouldn't be sort of holding her CrossFit performance back. So this is one of the first videos that she sent me, and I think to her defense, she'd been working for a few weeks already to sort of try and improve her form from this. But you can see she's got a lot of power. She's got plenty of strength, plenty of power from the floor. What's letting her down is just her positioning. So you can just see that she's getting really rounded on this lift, especially super rounded at the bottom. That back sort of caving in, elbows are dropping down. So whether that's a lack of positional awareness or whether that's a lack of strength in the upper back, not enough thoracic extension, these are all things that are coming to mind that I'm thinking, okay, we may have to work on a little bit. So that's the first thing that I'm sort of noticing there. We've also got, she provided some lifts here. I think this is a set of jerks she provided, which you can see are actually not terrible. She's managing to keep her arms locked out overhead. What we're mainly looking at is the split jerk there. The position just wasn't quite right. It's just not as stable as it could be. The feet could just be that little bit, knees sort of over the toe a little bit. It's nothing terrible. So the jerk, we just needed to tweak a little bit just to get it dialed in, get it more consistent. Drills, some sort of drills that we used. I tend to program, especially for people coming from a CrossFit background that have a real tendency to power everything, that have really strong powers. We're going to do a lot of work from the hang with an emphasis of getting underneath the bar. So high hang cleans, high hang snatches, sometimes some snatches and cleans sort of hang from the knee. But you can do a lot of reps there. We're going to make sure that you're really just confident getting underneath the bar. So here we've got some just below the knee, and we're just emphasizing, making sure that she's pulling underneath the bar on every single rep. We're really trying to sort of hold her accountable to that as we went through this training cycle, just making sure that every rep we had good posture, catching upright, elbows up. See, they're starting to drop there. So that's something that we just needed to be aware of. But that was something we were constantly working to correct, was that posture, making sure that the posture was right, that we were hitting the right position. So in the jerk there, we're trying to make sure that front shin was vertical. In the clean, we were trying to make sure that her elbows are up. We were trying to make sure that she's pulling underneath the bar. So it's a lot of work like this that we did for quite a few months. We also started with quite a few exercises like this, which are tempo overhead squats. So usually down to something like a count of 5, pausing at the bottom, and then coming back up. So these are a great way to build overhead stability, to build strength and stability throughout that entire range of motion, to get confident in the full snatch movement. A lot of the times, if you've just been doing loads of power snatches, or sort of by default doing lots of power snatches and power cleans, you actually don't have much exposure to sort of heavier loads in the bottom position of the overhead squat. So this is a great way to start introducing those, getting your body prepared for them, so you're actually ready to catch snatches down low. Once you've got the technical stuff sorted out anyway, you need your body to be prepared for that. If I just skip on a little bit, and you can see that it starts to pay off. This work that we've been doing does start to pay off. We get these lifts from the hang. This is what, sort of talking about around 30 kilos this year, depending on what bar she's using. Still not as quick under as we could be, but it's a lot better, right? You can see that she's getting underneath the bar, her posture's better, her positioning's better. So we definitely start to see that moving in the right direction. It eventually ends up, you can see she's pretty happy. We are 40 kilos here. So this is like a big one for her. I don't think at this point, I'm pretty sure she sent me a message like she'd never been able to get underneath into what a CrossFitter would call a squat snatch, but what we would, as weightlifters, would just call it a snatch. She'd never been able to get into this position with anything close to this weight. So this was a big milestone for her, and to be able to do it, as you're going to see here, for a double was really, really big for her. So she gets underneath the bar, gets it for 1, good control. Might even turn this up because I think she has a nice little celebration. She's pretty stoked about it. Love it. So that, as a coach, is one of the things that I really love to see. Like a lifter really stoked about their lift, really excited, smiling, just excited that they've made a PR. So for her to go from sort of looking a little bit messy to then getting 30, 35, looking more consistent, to then getting doubles from the hang at 40 is really, really cool to see. And then the last bit is we have some cleans that were looking a lot better too. So I wanted to share these. If you compare these to the initial cleans that we saw, Look at the difference in posture, in her torso angle when she's catching. So much more upright. Can't you see? Like it's her quads are actually been loaded, her back's staying way stronger, chest more up. It's just way closer to what we want to see. Jerks looking more stable, more consistent. And I think in this complex we even do it as a jerk double, so it's clean plus 2 jerks at I think around 52, 55 kilos here, and she absolutely smashes them. So looking pretty mundane. I think that was like 1 of 5 sets for that workout. So again, to go from having very messy looking 40, 45 kilo cleans to be able to do multiple sets of clean plus 2 jerks at sort of 50 plus kilos is phenomenal. So that's really good to see. Great progress on her part. She's very diligent in putting in the work, coming into the gym and holding herself accountable, which is fantastic. And I hope as a case study, this sort of just, it demonstrates what kind of work might be like. If you're a CrossFitter looking to work with me to sort of improve your lifting or dial in some of your weightlifting, this might give you a little example of some of the stuff we'll be doing. There's likely to be some work from the hang. If you're someone that really struggles with you power and you sort of power snatch and power clean, maybe even more than you sort of full snatch and full clean, or you struggle to get underneath the bar and it feels a bit cumbersome, then a lot of the technical work that you've seen here is stuff that we might do, we might replicate, or it might be that there are specific things for you that we need to work on and dial in. So for the most part, it just comes down to you getting in touch and doing a technical analysis, like making sure we know sort of what is holding you out. But for the most part, I just wanted to give you a sense of what that process might look like, just so you have a sort of example of what working with me might look like. And yeah, hope that's useful. If there's anything else on this page, there's a bunch of other videos you might want to just check out just to sort of see more about the process. And yeah, I'll leave it there. Catch you in a bit.